I don't know, this industry is just so like, people keep perceiving it as a thing you can like milk cash out of, and you really can't. You really can't. There are only a couple of people that make enough money to hire like any sort of full-time team at all. It's literally a handful of people. Even someone the size of me, I cannot afford to hire like 2 full-time staff. That's fucking impossible. I could never. I could never, you know? So people will look at some of us and be like, oh, they must make so much. There must be like a way that they could float a company if we have a few of them, but not really. There's a lot of overhead. There's a lot that goes into this, and, you know, we need to save enough to live. So as an indie, you know, yeah, you can do okay. But if your income is supposed to also support other people, it gets real dicey. It gets real dicey. You know, and there are ways you can diversify income. You can do all this stuff, but it's such a big project. It takes years to get to that point. You know, it's crazy. Also, no, Twitch has never like really turned a profit. So, as an example, you know, it's tough, man. It's tough. It doesn't work like that. You know, streaming is just not crazy. YouTube, no, YouTube does not make you money. Most people that have a YouTube channel, they lose money on the YouTube channel, and they just hope that people watching them on YouTube come over to Twitch, and maybe they make a little more money on Twitch because they advertise over there. YouTube, the platform, makes money. I'm just saying the creators typically don't, unless they're the biggest. But like your average VTuber getting like 10K views on a video, they're not making money. Even my videos that have several 100,000 views don't make much. Let me look right now. And whatever they make typically only covers like a little portion of the editing and all that, right? Because I paid an editor to make that, etc., etc. Let me see. I'll pick a video. I'll pick a highly watched one because I want to make that real clear. Your normie friend started wanting to start a YouTube channel for passive income. Yeah, it's a cool passion project, dude. It's just impossible. It's just impossible to make it work like that. The amount of money you're going to put into it, that's the thing, is there's a lot of overhead. And then even if you sit there and you do all your editing yourself, you've spent time. If that time could have been spent doing more normal work, you've lost money. What you can hope for, the best you can hope for, is that your channel goes break even and that you can get enough money from it and sponsors that you do on it and whatever to pay for your editing team to keep doing it. I've always viewed YouTube clips for most VTubers that as advertising. Yeah. That's what it is. That's what it is. It still helps. It's still worth it as long as you're not losing a ton of money toward it, but it gets really hard to like quantify it, right? And be able to tell if you're really making money on it, because how would you know how many people come from YouTube over here and then also subscribe or whatever? Like, you know, you really can't track it. So I think a lot of people are going off of vibes and they're just kind of hoping, you know, you just hope. And who knows, maybe people who watch you on YouTube but not on Twitch, maybe some of them will buy merch, right? They're like these other things that might help. But again, like you can't quantify it. Yeah, you don't have that data. So seems as if an agency should be able to work because it can eliminate some of the overhead overlap. Yeah, that's one of the things that I think genuinely can keyword can be good. Let's say we're doing a group project. If we all have one manager working on that group project, and that one manager is talking to an artist relating to it for us, instead of us all having our own managers separately talk to the same artist and coordinate, we're eliminating a little overlap. Okay, I have a video where I talk about my cancer story. It has 277,543 views. 277K. That's a lot of views for a YouTube video. That's really good. Estimated revenue since I posted it and onward. The whole time, I've made a total of $632.91 on it. All of the costs going into it, I would say it doesn't really cover everything. if it went over, it would cover maybe some of the other videos that don't have as many views. How long is the video? 35 minutes. It's a lot of editing. It's 35 minutes. So I'm just saying, ROI on cancer is terrible. I'm sorry. I know, right? You would think. You would think. Now, this is assuming I don't put a sponsor on the video. The thing is, sometimes you put a sponsor on a video and they'll pay you way more, you know, than whatever you could ever expect the CPM to be. And maybe those two things together could help. But even then, you're not making like a lot. And that's assuming this gets good views. And they pay you per number of views you tend to get. And it's just cooked. It's just cooked. You know? So that's the edited video. I'd imagine the raw footage was like 2 hours. Yeah, I don't even know. But it took a lot of editing time. Yeah. So is it because ads don't want to display on videos about cancer? No. I talk about plenty of other normal topics, and this is about the same CPM-ish. Pretty standard. Pretty damn standard. I could pick one that's about something not morbid. Video of me and Michi talking. 251,000 views. My YouTube videos tend to do pretty well. 22 minutes. Yeah, this one also is about $700. And I have a drawn thumbnail for that. You know how much money a drawn thumbnail costs when you pay an artist to draw an entire art piece for it? Like, you might spend like half the money you make from the video on that, maybe even more or less depending on the artist. But it's a lot. I've seen people be like, I really love when VTubers do drawn thumbnails. I think they should do it all the time. And I'm like, I will open MS Paint right now and give you that drawn thumbnail because, you know, I do it sometimes simply because I like it. And I know it's not making me a lot of money. But like, I tend to work with people who aren't going to charge a fuck ton for that because it can get a little crazy. But yeah, these highly watched videos, not even making $1,000 each. And when you consider how much the editing costs are, thumbnail cost, any of my own time put in to record it and to get it done, like, it's so little. And yeah, my return is about the average. Yeah. So if you were like, yo, I want to make YouTube videos, you could still do it. You could do it, but don't put a ton of money into it. Like, only do it if it's something that you could easily edit yourself. You want to spend that time on it to save money, etc. You know? Said your wife is starting a business that requires a lot of commissioned art. You've spent close to 5K in 2 months. Art gets expensive because when you run a business that is a bit visually art based, you have to buy a lot of art, a lot of individual pieces, and it will add up and it will become a problem. So you have to be really careful. Can't imagine running a whole card game. VTuber merchandise. I mean, when you buy art to put on merch, you buy art from an artist, you pay for their services to draw it for you, and then you have to pay commercial licensing fees, which often is 100% of the base price added on. So if an artist is like, it costs $1,000 for a fully finished, full background, beautiful 4K res art piece that's good enough to put on merch, and then they're like, oh, commercial fees? Okay, it's $2,000. Maybe cost $300, but okay, it's $600 now, right? And then any merch profits you made, or no, that's some overhead into it instead. So your profit always goes down and down, and you know. And yeah, I'm being generous, right? Like, I've seen licensing fees that are 200, 300%. And it takes a lot of time for them to do it. It's not a cheap thing. There are some people you can pay that will cost less, but sometimes the people you want to use that draw on the styles you want, they all cost that much. It's really tough. So yeah, you end up spending a lot. So when companies are like, yo, we can make so much money off of VTubers, I'm like, no, the overhead is crazy. To do what's expected, the overhead is insane. Absolutely nuts. My body sheds all of its skin 3 times a day.